Jacob Jagani was a talented young man born at the bottom of the social ladder. Jagani lived in one of the worst neighborhoods in his country, where rubbish, rats and cockroaches rubbed shoulders with misery and where violence was the only acceptable response. Jacob hoped to find his place in a society that was doing everything it could to destroy him and his family. Sickness, fear, hunger, pain were the daily lot of those who lived in this hell. The only way out of this misery was crime. In most rich countries, criminals are seen as troublemakers. They are the ones who create instability and misery in the world. They are the ones who cause crises, commit murders, and impoverish the little people. Alas, the reality is far more nuanced. For Jacob Jagani, it is corrupt politicians and businessmen who are responsible for the ills of this world. Their greed is unparalleled, preventing even the smallest people from having a chance of a decent life. From an early age, young Jacob promised himself that he would do everything he could to change things. That's why he chose to become a criminal. But Jacob doesn't want to become a criminal without morals or faith. He doesn't want to be one of those who take advantage of the chaos to enrich themselves at the expense of others. Jacob Jagani wants to be a bandit with a big heart. Jacob Jagani wants to be the criminal gentleman who frees people from misery. Jacob Jagani wanted to illuminate people with his light. Deep in his heart, young Jacob had created a revolutionary flame that would consume him for the rest of his life. Jacob soon got into the habit of stealing in order to feed his brothers and sisters properly. Little by little, he made his way into the world of organized crime and soon had his family out of harm's way. Unfortunately for him, he had to cut off all contact with his family so that his double life didn't compromise their safety. Over time, his art of camouflage was refined, and he became a real master of the déguisement. Jacob spent most of his time in the library, increasing his knowledge of the world and quietly planning his future robberies. The years passed, and Jacob became one of the emblematic figures of his criminal organization, no longer involved in minor theft. He was finally able to start working on his real objective, to attack the people of big finance. During an interminable afternoon at the library, Jacob learned that one of his most loyal men had been killed in atrocious circumstances while spotting their next robbery. One of Skytech Megacorp's brand new police robots had shot on sight during a manifestation against one of their banks. Its most trustworthy corporal was killed in the incident. A boiling fire consumed Jagani, and he couldn't let this crime go unpunished. On the evening of the big robbery, when Jacob and his most loyal men were in the bank's vault, at the critical moment when they were about to leave with all the money in the vault, Jacob asked his men to swear loyalty to him so that they could betray their criminal organization and set out on a quest for revenge against this corrupt system. His men didn't hesitate for a second to join Jacob's cause, as they had all been broken in one way or another by this corrupt society. Jacob had managed to lighten their broken hearts over time, and they would follow him without hesitation until death. Jacob grabbed a few bags full of money and then set fire to the entire bank vault. Millions and millions of dollars went up in smoke. That evening, Jacob Jagani had sent out a clear message. He was no longer playing by the rules of the system. He had gone to war. After this incident, Jacob Jagani renamed himself Firefly. For Jacob, this was a perfect representation of what he wanted to inspire in people around the world, the light in the darkness. Firefly and his team burnt down the vaults of over 20 prestigious banks around the world, leaving nothing but flaming dust behind them. Over time, Firefly became a pillar of Pyro, and much of Pyro's money and ultra-modern weaponry was stolen by him and his men.